It's a lot. I mean,
That was another dumbass move by Jimmy Carter.
With, you know, being attacked as much as he has been, to still be able to conduct war like a general.
Okay. Remember my moment with the gun?
Yeah.
And realizing I had a choice?
Yes.
Donald Trump had that moment.
He was either going to shoot like a star, or he was going to.
No, he realized I gotta change this, and I've got to fight.
Okay.
And that's when he got up from the bullet in the ear.
Right.
Okay. And he came up a different man. And I think a lot of that has to do with the mother in him and the mother with him, and that being Melania.
Right. Yeah, we talked about this.
It's changed him.
She really has his ear in terms of spirituality.
Of course, yeah.
More so than these.
She's raising his son to be a Catholic, and that being Barron Trump.
Yeah. You know what I noticed, too, like at the end of his first.
Now, I'm not saying Catholics have all the answers. I'm just saying
it's
a discipline.
Look.
It's a discipline that she brings to the table. Spiritual.
Right. What I noticed at the beginning of when he was going to be running, at the end of his first term, I think it was during the 4th of July, if I'm not mistaken, that Melania organized the singing of Ave Maria on the White House balcony. And I'm thinking, oh, it's her. That's her, right? It's such a beautiful song. And I said, well, he's going to win this election, you know.
Well, it's one of the songs on his playlist in the plane.
Is it?
Yeah, he controls the playlist of the songs that are played on Air Force One, just because it's his time to jam. You know, he can, you know, but he loves music. You know, he's a real guy.
Yeah, when they say he's very sensitive, he's not that arrogant kind of when you're with him.
But he's very much about business. He's not going to put up with the crazy stuff.
No, he doesn't.
You see all the times when he's voicing something, it's about a crazy notion. You know, he's pushing back on. You know, he doesn't ever say to anyone, well, baseball should never be a doubleheader anymore. It's just too long for people. You know, no. You know, he understands that. He tries to promote these things. But he gets into transgenderism and boys playing in girls' sports and hurting girls. You know, all this stuff. I grew up in the time of Title IX when I was a ball player and going to college, that the girls had to get the same amount of money as the guys did. And now they're trying to change all that. And it's going to be the deflation of girls' sports. And I think sports are important for young women to, you know, gain confidence and self-esteem so that they can say no when they mean no. You know, and they need the sports.
I didn't realize. I heard different things about this transgender. I thought it was just background chatter, but they were actually making laws and implementing these things and making it into the schools. I'm thinking,
they wanted the government to pay for these surgeries.
I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, what am I in a coma? And one of the persons, oh no, they asked my son, you know, what do you identify today as? Every day they're asking a kid. Walks in the doors, what they identify with.
Well, my only question: if your sexual organs don't determine if you're male or female, how does cutting them off help determine that further?
Oh, it's crazy.
You know, so
it's insane.
It's disconnected thinking. They say we got to cut your penis off so you can be the girl you're meant to be.
That's crazy. Yeah,
you know,
it's insane. Right?
The kid's 11 years old.
No kidding.
Okay, he just got done with playing with his. G.I. Joes,
right.
And now you're going to sit there want to cut his schwanz off, you know, to make him feel better about, you know, being having feminine feelings.
It's a satanic.
Come on,
diabolical.
You know, the kid got into his mom's underwear and had a fantasy. What do you want? Leave him alone.
This was the kind of thing that they were forcing. Is that why Trump wants to take education and let the states do it so that they don't have a central?
Of course, because the education department has done nothing but screw things up. We got kids graduating high school that can't read. They just can't read. They have boys, I did a test with them, and I had them look at words. I said, okay, what's this word? What's this word? What's this word? I gave them the word pigeon. You know what they told me that word said? Pygion. That's a pygion. I said, a pygion? What's a pygion? I showed them a picture of a pigeon. I said, what's this? They go, well, that's a pigeon. I said, there's your Pygeon right there. They didn't know how to spell pigeon.
Jeez.
These are 18, 19-year-old guys.
Where's all that money?
They didn't know what an erection was. They said, I've never heard the word.
Of course, we knew that right away.
Well, I'm saying, what do you mean you don't know what an erection is? Because
they didn't know the word.
Yeah, he says, what's an erection? I never heard of an
Are
erection.
you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm not kidding you. These are guys that work for me. I'll be talking with. They'll be talking about,
So what did they think they got when it was standing in attention?
Well, I told him, I said, wait a minute, you've never heard the word erection? No, man, why you making fun of me? I've never heard the word. I said, well, let's talk about how about boner? Have you ever heard boner? And they go, yeah, I know boner. I said, that's an erection. He says, when did that happen?
Oh, geez.
These guys graduated high school.
Yeah. Was Catholic schools or were
No, they're public schools.
Normally Catholic schools do much better, I think, than the public people.
I think every 8-year-old boy in a Catholic school knows what an erection is because you can't, it's like.
Right. It's a no-brainer or a no-boner. I would like to read this one thing.
Hopefully it doesn't have anything to do with boners or erections.
This part I think is important. It'll help us with continued discussion on this. The seeds. Why is there no one asking about the seeds? What about the seeds America has sown since her birth? America has never received her harvest. For I will use President Trump and my army to bring back America all that she has sown. This will be used for my harvest. America will prosper like never before in her history as a nation. All of the financial seeds you have sown around the world, food, clothing, 90% of my gospel that has gone throughout on the earth has come from my chosen America. Her blood has been spilled on foreign soil to free the oppressed so that my gospel could go forward. America, your harvest is here, and it shall parallel with your spiritual harvest in the natural, in the spiritual harvest and in the natural. So do not fear. I mean, but this is your mission under Our Lady of America speaks exactly to America, primarily the children of America, but all the children of the world will be put into a place for the re-evangelization of the world.
Mm-hmm. America, this continent, this land was discovered and explored as an evangelical moment. All the explorers who were funded by the Queen of Spain.
Yeah.
This guy Columbus.
Yeah.
Okay, he had 3 ships he started off with.
The Nina, the Pinta, and the
Santa Maria.
Santa Maria.
Okay. So, what a lot of people don't realize is there was a Catholic priest on board each of those ships because they knew that it was going to be a struggle, an unknown going across this ocean. They didn't know if it was flat or round. I mean, I think Magellan had I don't know. Magellan was after, I think, Columbus. I'm not positive. I got to get my dates right. But
yeah, they didn't know if it was flat or round.
They didn't know
right.
they're going to fall off the edge.
They could fall off the right.
Right. Yeah, they didn't know if they had to start rowing in reverse. Okay, pull. Hey, I said pull. So, but what they did was they knew that the presence of the Eucharist was that important for them to come across. But they brought the image of Mary was on each of the ships as well, for the Virgin Mary to be there with them, and that being not being discussed as such or described as such as the Immaculate Conception, but they knew that Mary held Jesus, with her, and that they needed, if they brought Mary, Jesus would be with them, and so that's why they focused on Mary, and that's why the one was called the Santa Maria.
Okay.
And so each of these ships had a priest on board, and most of those priests came from a place called Montserrat in Spain, which is a mountain abbey that was up on the sides of this hill, and that's where they keep the Black Madonna. And it was at Montserrat was where I ran into that group of priests who had called me OLaMan.
Oh, was it in that
Yeah,
area?
that's where that was the first time I'd heard OLaMan. But they called me OLaMan because of Our Lady of America, and they were following the court case.
Yeah, that was kind of
And
unusual.
they were praying for me as being
Stumbled on
this,
that in the middle
this
of the night,
lonely
right?
guy in a courtroom
Right.
trying to defend himself. But they also said they got into the fact that I was disturbing things so much. And Ola in Spanish means wave. And so they were saying
Making waves.
Yeah, I was making waves. And so they liked that, and they would come back from their work each day, and somebody would have been following things from the postings on Westlaw from the day before from the court case. And they say, what happened with the OLaMan today? And so when I showed up there and they found out who I was, they were just all like incredibly enthused about it.
Have a couple of
But
beers.
that was where the priests came that were on Columbus's ships, came from there. And when they actually landed on one of the islands in the Caribbean, and which is now named Montserrat, Columbus had named them in honor of the place where these priests had come from. That's why he named it Montserrat. So the island of Montserrat in the Caribbean came from this town in Spain where these priests had come from. But they were so happy with the presence of these priests on these ships, one of the islands that they discovered along the way,
That
Montserrat.
particular area, yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. So what do you think so far of, does he seem to line up? Does it seem to be
I think it's
feasible?
very, 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 very much in the flow of what's going on that we see in the world right now, and with his timing on it in the prophecies. And this goes a lot with Tom Zimmer, the
Hermit. He was
the hermit of Loretto.
Of Loretto, yeah. And what refresh our
Well, Tom Zimmer was a U.S. Born fellow. I think he lived in the Cleveland area. Well, when he retired and got older and had an empty house, he wanted to devote his life to the Blessed Mother and the church, to bring more people to Jesus. So he went to the town of Loretto, Italy, up in the northeast corner of Italy, to go help take care of the birth home of the Virgin Mary, that being Mary. Now, this had originally been in Nazareth.
right.
Okay. And how this house, all in one piece, ended up in Loretto, Italy,
The angels.
was a great mystery.
They say the angels
Picked it up
picked
whole
it up and brought it.
and
Yeah.
moved it to save it from the marauding.
The Muslims were coming in to
Right.
destroy it.
Right. So they wanted to get this birth home of Mary to a safe place. So they moved the entire home, lock, stock, and barrel, relocated
Loretto.
it to Loretto.
And they built
Italy.
a church, and then they built a cathedral over the church. Right.
And everyone said this is all bullshit till they went and they checked the building materials,
All
the
from-
pollen, and all
all
like
from-
that. It
that's
all
right.
came from the area
Nazareth, right.
Nazareth. And pretty incredible stuff.
But anyway,
So Tom is working there as a custodian type of guy, meeting with visitors, and he happened upon notice that the Holy Year was happening with the Vatican, and when a Holy Year is declared, the Pope will open the holy doors to St. Peter's, and the backs of these doors have large pockets or shelves in them that they used to put large stones in to weigh the doors down to keep marauders from being able to get in so easily. So they wanted to weight these doors down. So when the problems with the marauders was gone, what they started doing was a new tradition. They would line these doors in with bricks, and these bricks would be engraved with prayers and special intentions on them. People could put their name on it. They could buy this brick, just another fundraising thing. So the doors have been opened up, the shelves were emptied, and they were selling bricks to go back in. Well, Tom Zimmer bought a brick, and he was told to buy a brick by the Blessed Mother, and she wanted him to put on the name of a man, and to put on there because he was going to be the one that was going to bring America back to God.
wow.
And the name that he was told to engrave on that brick, and this was back in the 80s,
Was
Donald J. Trump. And so he put the name Donald J. Trump on this brick to put inside the doors there,
in 19
like 83.
before our friend Protestant friend.
30 years
prophet.
later, Mark Taylor's talking about it then too.
Isn't that interesting, folks?
But the doors have been opened up. So it was like in 2000 or so that they opened the doors.
And they saw that.
Well, and the proof was there that the Donald J. Trump brick was in there.
Did Our Lady tell him, you said that this
Told
is
Zimmer
the
to, yeah.
that will bring back America?
He would bring America back to
and
God.
then some people said, you mean Donald Trump, the
Playboy. He said that, the Playboy?
Did he?
Mm-hmm. Because he thought it was like
a
the
joke?
first thing you got to
Celestial
do
joke.
is say, am I crazy?
Yeah.
And that was the first thing he asked, am I crazy?
Oh, did he?
Well, you have to. I mean, come on. Donald Trump?
No kidding. It's kind
Come
of...
on, Studio 54?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
he
right.
was-
No, you're right.
But he never partied. He was just always
Yeah, he
visiting.
never drank
He was
either.
on the
You're right.
scene.
Yeah, he was always right. Right. You're right.
He's never had a drink. He's never smoked a cigarette or anything else.
Yeah.
You know, he's as square as can be. But he learned from his father. He learned from his brother. You know, both died from alcoholism.
Is that right? His father drank too, did he? Yeah.
I believe so, yeah. But his brother was a terrible alcoholic, and he saw what it could do. And but yeah, I think it's all consequential.
Well, here's your introduction to Mark Taylor and introduction to Mr. Zimmer. When we come back, we're going to be doing All Roads Lead to Rome, and then there's a more recent prophecy specifically around Donald Trump and the difficulties that he is facing with people that pretend to be Christian spiritual people trying to get his ear or to talk to him. And then we'll talk a little bit about Melania and her role in her.
So the Trump Prophecies by Mark Taylor, is this something that people you think should look at, or do you think they should
There's a
hear what
movie.
you have to
Oh,
say?
absolutely. I mean, I'm confident. Larry, you got a sense of discernment. Do you feel that this guy is pretty...
I think the guy's on the mark.
Okay.
You know, but
here again, here's our... I mean, we're of the Catholic faith, and we believe in the true presence of Christ in the Eucharist because he's truly present. But we have not eliminated who God brings forward to be of service in his quest for our redemption. So, yes, I would say if you want to get this book, Trump Prophecies, Mark Taylor, Lieutenant Mark Taylor.
it's got to be on Amazon. It's probably going to be
It's
like
all
a
over the place.
$14 book or something.
Yeah. And then you can also download all of his prophecies if you go to a sword something or other, I forget. But if you go to Mark Taylor's website, you can download all of his prophecies and see.
Just search Mark Taylor Prophecies. I'm sure you'll find it.
Now, Mark got tired. He said, look, he goes, they started to get on me, and finally he said, if the Lord wants me to put out I'll say the prophecy. But he withdrew from the public because they were making fun of him and they were calling him crazy. And he said, I had enough.
I went through all that.
So he said, I'm not going to do it. If the Lord wants me to say something, I'll say it, and I'll put it out there for you.
But see, that kind of gives me more encouragement that in the light of people trying to blow you up and to, call you names and say that you should just, why don't you just go fucking kill yourself? I mean, I had that a lot. And I got that a lot from Catholic people.
That's crazy.
Those little old church ladies, man, they can be mean bitches.
I didn't realize that they were that vicious, Larry.
Oh, yeah, they can be really mean. And when they think they're doing the right thing and defending, but they're just ignorant, because they believed so much of the counter claims to things basically made by people who have no real experience in these things. And a lot of times your so-called theologians and stuff like that, they will write about things that they really have no personal experience about themselves. All they've done is read other people's takes on things and what the Catholic Church
the Mariologist from Steubenville.
Yeah, Steubenville, yeah.
Steubenville.
Yeah, Miravalli and those guys. They're doing a lot of stuff, but they're all part of the industry.
Right.
Their credentials came from the people
It's not
they're
from
supposed
mysticism,
to be
huh?
reporting on.
Right.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you got to kind of question some of that. How did you get the authority? Okay, you may have great intellect and powers of these things, but you want to discount the possibility of something else happening.
Yeah.
And all you're doing is making life harder on these people are bringing you the word. You're one of the people who's attacking the little girl in Lourdes, France, because she just happened to tell you that there was a woman who showed up.
It really is crazy, folks.
So don't take it out on the kid. Don't take it out on the messenger. What you do is you kind of look at it and see how it relates to the reality of what's going on in the world around you, what has happened, and don't have rose-colored lenses on this thing, because that's part of what gets you into trouble. So I'm not saying it's all good. I'm not saying it's all bad.
Yeah, but
don't
you
sit
read and
there
discern, right? You don't have to, right? But don't start it. And our Lord warned us that we're not the judge. And anybody that starts judging anybody, whether it's Larry or me or your next door neighbor, you better be careful, because our Lord warned us that He's the judge. We're not the judge.
Mm-hmm. You're always welcome to walk away.
That's all.
Change the channel if you don't like what's being said here.
That's all.
There's a guy who's got a dog video right next to this one. Go watch this guy, bring a dog back from death or something like that. It's a good video, but if this isn't for you, go watch the dog video.
That's all right. Yeah, we don't.
In the meantime, Alex, I love you, and we'll be back.